Welcome to another edition of Your Daily 5. I'm your host for the day, John Colucci. Johni Scan, very interesting scan coming up for you today. Let's take a look at whether we can find second chances at the 20-period simple moving average, the 20 SMA. StockCharts has a real interesting feature for us to be able to do that. Let's take a look. So we can scan for the distance from a moving average, either a simple moving average or indeed an exponential moving average. This is a page from the syntax reference guide, and here we have an explanation of how this indicator is calculated and what it represents. So very, very interesting, and we can use this to find stocks that are pulling back into a rising moving average, something that maybe we like to do for an entry, especially if we miss the bottom. We can have a confirmed uptrend and pulling back to a known area of support. So let's look at what that code would look like. We first take the distance from, for example, a 20-period moving average 5 days ago, and we simply say that that's greater than the distance from that same moving average today. We're going to ask that the 20-period moving average have a positive slope. Doesn't matter how positive, just that it is positive. We're going to calculate that slope over 20 periods, same periods as the moving average. We're also going to put a little kicker in, which is the percent relative. That's going to enable us to ask for stocks that are outperforming, in this case, the SPX. So let's see what that does for us. Real key element is how we rank these. So we're going to use what I refer to as a proximity rank. How close is our close to some target level, in this case, the 20-period moving average? We're going to ask that the rank be the difference between the close and the 20-period average. We're going to do an ascending sort because we want to see, I think, the things that are closest to the 20 or even slightly below it. Something might, for example, have come down to it and closed below it. Something might have closed below it and come back up a little bit, but still be below. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we run this scan. A lot of results out there. Of course, the market has been slowing and pulling back a little bit in the last few days. When we run this scan, at the close, we find that we have 338 potential candidates on the list that we can take a look at. When we look at these, we see a lot of technologies up close to the top of the list, which means it's close to the 20-period moving average, which by virtue of the scan has to be rising. So we're pulling back to a rising 20-period moving average. And remember, if price simply goes sideways and the moving average is rising, it's going to be closer than it was previously because it's moving sideways and the 20 is moving up. It could also crash back down and have more of a severe move down, and that would get us closer to the moving average also. But we could find things that are slowly moving sideways at a higher price level. And it's what in the world of Wyckoff we would say could be, for example, a backing up action. So let's take a look at what we have for our candidates. Our first is Intuitive Surgical, and we can see that this stock has had challenges with the rest of the market over the past 6 months, really starting August, September last year. It distributed, came down, redistributed, and now we're into an area where we're starting to see a little bit of positive relative strength. Our OBV line is heading up, not real strong, but remember, we sorted for the things that are closest to their 20-period moving average first. In other words, The weakest of the litter is what we want to see first. And in this particular case, we can see stopping action on intuitive, a little base forming underneath, and boom, up and out, and a very orderly pullback on declining volume. Relative strength is still a little bit sketchy. Our 20-period moving average is our green line, and we see we did have a constructive cross of the 20 over the 50. The 200 still pointing down, so there certainly is weakness in this particular stock, but it's coming back and hopefully testing and holding the area of prior resistance. So certainly prior resistance, new support. That's something we would like to see if possible. Let's take a look at our next candidate, SolarEdge. Solar, renewable energy, been really, really hot sector and industry group of late. Very, very messy chart, up, down, up, down, up, down, and everything is roiling in this area. But in this case, we see that SolarEdge came back through its 20-period moving average. The average is rising, and then it returned up to it and tested from below. Is that good? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. But did we receive the scan results that we asked for? Well, yes, indeed. We have a rising 20-period average, and we are below it, meaning based on our sort, it's a negative value, so we should have that at the top of the list because we did an ascending sort that gives us the lowest values first. A relative strength here, in this case, we're comparing to the VTI instead of the SPX. Technical best practice would be to make sure that your chart reflects as many of the scan terms as you can. So a little ding on that there, but VTI, a good total market index ETF for us to look at. Scooter values coming up, a little bit of sideways action there. So not a bad return. Gives us an idea, maybe we should be looking in renewable energy for other opportunities. So let's take a look at our next stock. GXO Logistics. Been keeping an eye on this one myself because this transportation area really beaten down, but GXO showing some spunk here. It's forming a little bit of a base down here in a descending channel. Came up, tested the upper channel line, and it's holding over its 50-period moving average with a rising 20-period average. So we can see that we came down significantly over 4 to 5 days, but we're holding the 50 now and hopefully moving back up. Relative strength just poking its head over a moving average, which is still downsloping. But remember, we're fishing in the lower regions. When we ask for the ascending sort, we're going to get the weakest first. So if that's what you want to see, go ahead and do that type of sort. Otherwise, do a regular sort, and I'll show you what you would get with a regular sort in a second. Our next candidate, other trucking stock here, Saia. This is very interesting stock. Again, down channel, little accumulation area that failed but gave us a larger accumulation structure that is now in an up channel and a little bit of an overthrow up here at the 200. So a couple areas of resistance there, both the channel line and the 200, and it upthrusted that area and came back down. But a very orderly, lower volume pullback to the 20, and it's holding there right now. So our OBV is indicating a lot of positive volume, our relative strength up and over its moving average. The 20 has crossed the 50, and we're now testing the 200 from below. Very constructive action there, and are we presented with an opportunity because we're pulling back to a recognized area of support in the 20. Certainly the 20 is not as significant as the 50 or the 200, but If we miss the chance to get into this stock, do we have a chance if we have an orderly pullback to a rising 20? If you like a 23 or a 31 or a 50 as your area of support that you're willing to buy, then simply substitute your own preferences for the language in the scan and you'll see what you get. Let's take a look at our next stock here, ShockWave. So ShockWave is well extended from its 20. It's gone way up, and we see indeed ShockWave has broken out of a long base. Everything very positive. We're over the 200. All the moving averages are in the proper order. We have nice upslope on a relative strength, yet it's come back a little bit towards the rising 20. Certainly, this one is extended as far as things go, but it may yet provide us an opportunity if it comes back in or holds this level and gives us an opportunity there. So this is the other end of our scan list. When we sorted by the ascending sort, smallest first, largest at the end, simply go to the other end of the chart or resort it and renumber it. If you want to, you'll get the biggest first, or simply run your scan without the word ascending and see what you get. And here's our last candidate for the day, Enphase Energy. This stock is from the middle of the list. So here we have something that's pulling back in, and remember, we're sorting based on the distance from our close to the rising 20-period moving average. So this has gone up and out, jumped up, had a bit of a flag or a pennant in here, and has slowly started to draw into the rising 20. This could be an opportunity to see what happens in this area. If it holds over the prior resistance, then we could indeed have an opportunity there. It's come a long way just since May. It's over 200%. It's a double in just about 2.5 months. So extended, but pulling back into the 20, and could be something for you to take a look at there. That's the show for today. Again, keep an eye out for the Wyckoff Market Report. We'll publish that every week and has a lot of interesting Wyckofian takes on the market. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, I'm your host, Johni Scan. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.